I found it very difficult to come to terms with the fact that my husband would have to go into a care home. I had explored the option of him coming home for a while, and it was the hardest decision that I've ever had to make, I must admit.
With my mum's situation, she was actually in the hospital when the decision was made. The hospital said I could take the responsibility of having her go back to her flat, but because I couldn't be there all the time, I couldn't make that decision of taking her back to her own flat. So the only other alternative was to go into a care home.
Trying to find the right home is a huge decision. And I always say to people, go with your heart. You need to go along and feel what's right for you. Get a feel for a place. Just stand and see how that feels for you and whether it seems right for your person. A big decision, but I feel that those first steps inside the door are a good way to indicate how that might be for your person, what they might expect and what you would expect for them. So the questions I'd ask when I go into a care home would be, first of all, what level of care can they offer, because people will want different levels of care, whether that's residential or whether it's nursing home care, which can vary. And also, of course, people's health can deteriorate. So if you're in a care home where they've got residential and then moving on to the care, to the different level of nursing care, that will be great. I would also be looking or asking questions about what activities are on offer. Some people might like to sit back and watch the activities go on. Is there look around and see if there's something where that person can sit and enjoy those activities from afar if they wish, or if they want to work with those activities, actually joining in. And probably further down the line, what's the food like, which might be something very important, and the different types of food and foods that people enjoy. If you're a new carer, it feels very isolating. You're not alone. There are people out there that will really support and help you given the opportunity. And it's sometimes difficult to find out where that is. But if you can pick up someone like the Stroke Association, look at what's local to you, have a look in the hospital, ask in the hospital, find some way of going forward. There is someone that will support you. You're not on your own. We're there for you.
The Bath and North East Somerset Carers Centre is located in Radstock, and we cover the whole of the Baines area up to Bath, Bathampton, Bath Easton, over to Keynsham in the top left-hand corner, and then down to Temple Cloud, Clacton, those sorts of areas. We're a main port of call for carers, often referred by GPs, social services, job centres, lots of different places, schools even. And what we can provide carers with is a lot of support, a lot of information, a lot of practical advice, and that really covers so many things.
I think the important thing is that even when a loved one has gone into a home, there is still support for the carer. There are services like mine, which is information, advice and support. And I actively work with a charity called Crossroads, and we link up people to go into peer support groups. It's just important to realise that you're not on your own, that there are other people, and that just because you're not the term actively caring for your loved one, you still are. So, and that's really important, and it's to know that there is a service out there for you and that you can access counselling.
The lady who comes to help look after the carers told me that I should be seeing a social worker so that in the future, if I needed it, it was all in place. And that lady arranged a break for me, and I got away for 3 days with the dog and went to Exmoor and had a lovely time.
I think one of the other aspects that we've thought about significantly in Bath and North East Somerset is how we work jointly with the local authority around supporting carers. And in fact, we do have a joint carers lead that works across the PCT and the council, with a remit around making sure that carers have access to breaks and other services. The Carers Centre has workers in the Royal United Hospital, so that again they can have drop-in sessions for carers who might want to access help and support, advice, etc. in the hospital. So I think carers has been really important in Bath and North East Somerset in terms of making sure their voice is heard and that they influence the way we commission services.
There may also be some financial concerns for people who are looking at their loved one going into a care home. Obviously, this isn't a service that's provided free of charge. Care homes will charge varying amounts depending on what the going rate is at the time. If people have savings over and above a certain amount, they will be expected to pay for their own care. So they will be called what's called self-funding. If they have savings below the amount, which at the moment is roughly in the region of £23,000, they may be able to get some funding from social services to pay towards the care. They can then choose whether or not they want social services to pay for the whole amount or whether they want to go for a home that they prefer, which might cost more, in which case social services will contribute the amount they've agreed to pay, and any further funding will be expected to be paid for by the family.
If people have got a complaint or they're dissatisfied on something, always talk to someone. Always discuss that before. And I would always say to people, never jump in immediately. You need to take time to think about that. It may be something worrying you, but don't go away and worry. Find someone, whether it's your family, whether it's someone in a professional capacity. Just find someone to talk that through. Write things down. Always go back. Make an appointment to see someone in the home if that's the way forward and you feel quite happy with that. Take someone along with you if you feel comfortable. Write your questions down, write your concerns down so that when you go into that meeting, you've got those concerns in front of you and someone doesn't baffle you with science, that you know, and you can come back to your questions and get answers for those questions. And if you don't feel their answers satisfactory, then maybe you need to rethink that and you need to take that further to a professional body.
Many years ago, my grandfather suffered a stroke, and it was a long time ago. And back then, there wasn't information that readily available for my grandmother, and I recognised as the primary carer for my grandfather, she did struggle for many years in isolation without much help and support. From a carer's point of view, it's extremely important that they do seek help, advice and information and feel that they are being supported.
My one piece of advice, which I did personally, would be to, when you visit a care home, is write it all down. So you've got, when you go to the next one, you can compare them. You know, how much it costs, what you liked about it, what you didn't like about it, and all the pros and cons. And just then you can sit quietly and decide which one you think is best.
And I think it was his well-being at the end that we realised that actually he would be safer and better looked after. But it was a decision I found very hard. It is in a lovely spot with beautiful fields and views round, and the staff are very caring. It's a whole new world. You meet people that you never would have met, and 10 months down the line I feel more comfortable than I did, but it does take a little while to settle in.